necessarily think that family is something that is permanent. People can change, individuals and relationships can be changed or just broken in a sense.
Okay, so for the people who raised me, how did y'all socialize me?
I believe that you were socialized, well, considering that George is the youngest of 4, I believe he was just socialized as the youngest with respect to my parents and their position in our society, being immigrants, having different types of careers. I feel like you can understand those intersectionalities, but also being raised as the youngest, a lot of what you've learned has also been dependent on your siblings or your parents.
Okay. Do you believe maternity leave should be guaranteed in the United States? Why or why not?
I believe that maternity leave should be essential to schools, to work, like the workforce, in all sense.
Okay. What about paternity leave? Why or why not?
I feel like that one's a little bit more tricky. I do think that paternity leave can be helpful for 100% because it can help with the maternal figure's emotional state, maybe their physical state, getting some help around like just doing daily things, especially when they have a newborn. You can't necessarily do everything by yourself. You need someone else to be there for you. So I think a paternal leave can 100% be helpful, just maybe not as long as maternity leave. So a shorter term period for them.
Okay. So do you disagree on one another, or do you have like a disagreement with any sort of them?
I think that maternity leave and paternity leave are can be beneficial for the entire relationship and for the development of the child. So I think that if it were possible, then maternity leave and paternity leave should definitely be considered.
Okay. Did you know every other Western industrialized country at least guarantees maternity leave? The U.S. does not. Why do you think this is?
I feel like that just all goes down to the capitalistic society that we live in and how work, money, the prosperity of rich people is just much more prioritized in our society. So I think that's why we're just more pushed to work or not have like set limits for when someone can return back to work.
That is. Why does it not seem to be a priority here in the U.S. while it is in other countries? And are you still against it?
I would say that I think it's more prioritized in other countries because they care about their women more.
Okay. And are you against it?
Against other countries giving women maternity leave? No, not at all.
Okay. Thank you, my sister, Priscilla Reyes. Hello, my name is George Reyes. I'm in Holden Williams class, 1305, and I'm here with
Annabelle Ramirez,
and you are
mother of George Reyes.
Okay, so for the next couple of minutes, I'll be asking my mom some questions. Okay, first question. What does family mean to you?
It means everything.
Okay. And what makes a family?
Family is permanent. I mean, family is people that love each other. It doesn't have to be blood related. It doesn't have to be somebody that you live with. It has to be someone that it's close to you to heart. That's something that some people see in different people, different colors, different races, different everything. It doesn't have to be blood related to be a family.
Okay, now is family permanent and how?
Family can be permanent, but then again, there are some cases that family separate themselves. They hate one another at some points, and other times family just don't want to be with one another. But in my case, I love my family. I do not wish to change anything from my kids, anything from my siblings, or my mother.
Okay, so for the people who raised me, how did they socialize me?
How did they socialize you? They took you to parties. They took you to gatherings with the family members. They made trips to different areas where you saw different people, different ethnicities, different socializing types, like nothing to do with Hispanic community or nothing to do with family related thing. It could have been something for Halloween, something for Christmas. We took you to different places so you could see different areas of gatherings so you can socialize with different kids.
Okay, so do you believe maternity leave should be guaranteed in the United States? Why or why not?
Maternity leave is a really big thing for women in particular because we suffer through pregnancy and we suffer through birth. Afterwards, we just are it's asked of us to just go back to work like nothing, but some of us don't do it. Some of us stay at home, be at home moms. Some of us suffer through postpartum depression. Some of us have issues with any mental health after birth. And it's hard for some people that just to go back right after, like, to work. It should be put into place where women that give birth can have time for the baby, for themselves, to make a bond. I believe that's the thing. Give birth to a kid to become a maternity leave.
Okay, now what about paternity leave?
Paternity leave. Well, I never had any help, even when my husband was home, because men really don't know how to do much. They just come from work, or if they're here, if you have other older kids, they can help you out. But I think the best thing to do is just at least 2 weeks, no more than that, because it is horrible to have somebody like a helicopter around you and then after 2 weeks it becomes like, oh, you can get up now, so can you cook for me, can you do this, can you do that? No, 2 weeks is enough for paternity leave.
Okay, so did you know that every other Western industrialized country at least guarantees maternity leave? The U.S. doesn't. Why do you think this is?
It's because it's coming to people to adopt, and they don't think it's what people should get even when they adopt. I believe it should be put in place that they need to have at least a couple of weeks to a month if they're adopted. They need to get acquainted to the kid. It's not just, I don't know. I haven't adopted, so I wouldn't know. But I think that's one of the things they should let them. I'm not sure. But it should be put in place that maternity leave should be added to it.
Okay, that is, why does it not seem to be a priority here in the U.S. while it is in other countries? Are you still against it?
Well, I'm not against it. Paternity leave or maternity leave? It's
Both.
It's complicated. It should be put into place to give people time to spend with the family, with their little baby that has been born, that it's been brought into the house. I mean, for women, they have to rest to become themselves. It's like somebody opened them from the inside out. For men, they need to help the wife to clean, to cook, to help with the other siblings. That should be put into perspective.
Okay, thank you.